Mike Fisher with the great George Teague, one of the greatest players in the history of the University of Alabama, and a wildly successful Dallas Cowboy too. Under Mike McCarthy and Dan Quinn in this building, they talk about big safety. And I think they're talking about the number of guys, and in the case of one of them, they're talking about his literal size of bigness.
I think that, first I need to say that Dan Quinn has done a tremendous job with pulling those guys together. I did hear you speaking a little bit earlier about his interaction with the players and the motivation that he has. So, to come in with the mindset that he has, with the number of people, the size of the people on the field, big packages.
Yeah.
It's pretty interesting to see. Out there for a couple weeks.
Right. Yeah.
It's really, really cool to see.
Yeah, George Teague worked as a kind of a special volunteer assistant, right?
That's right.
Now, you didn't see then that this was going to happen, did you? That cornerbacks were going to get 7 interceptions, and that Kearse, who had not been an impactful starter, certainly not in Minnesota or Detroit, he'd come in here and he's a difference maker. Maybe you did know that Malik Hooker could do this because he's done it before.
I didn't. I can't say that I anticipated us to have this many turnovers, particularly in the secondary. But I did see the complexity of what they were trying to install compared to what had been done in the past. So there's a lot of confusion with the way that they're running this, with Witt and George Edwards and all the things that they brought into that. It was really, really cool for me to see.
Yeah.
Because I wish we'd have been running some of that stuff back in the day as well.
When you say complicated and complex, a lot of times to somebody like me, that means it's a lot to swallow. But if you're a good teacher, you can teach complicated.
Yes. So it's complex because they have multiple options in the same play with the defense. For example, and I just spoke about it on Teague's tape, on my podcast, about when, for instance, when a team is in stack,
okay, 2
wide receivers behind each other, how, when you look at it, they could be doing 3 different things.
2 wide receivers line up on the same side of the field.
Yes.
One and another.
If there's one guy right here in front of you, it looks like you have this guy man to man, but you may actually have the guy behind you, right? And that's kind of confusing when you see, or it might be in zone.
Yeah.
Right? And so it takes a lot of communication. So that takes a lot of good.
And these 2 guys don't, they want to know what they're in, but they don't necessarily. And the quarterback doesn't necessarily know.
Because it all looks exactly the same. Alignment has to be perfect. The depth of the safety or the linebacker that's involved with it, the corner, the nickel, whoever it is, and try to make it all look the same. And so it creates confusion. As long as you have the smart athletes, the guys that can pick it up and spend a lot of time to teach it, and which we do have, and that's why you're seeing these things happen, because it just looks like, oh yeah, I should be able to throw it over there or run over there, and you can't.